Hello, everyone. Welcome to our virtual book club open house, and I'm so excited. I wanted to host this because I think it's just so important as we're about to kick off our book club season that you get to meet my dope team and be able to see like all the good things we have planned. This is our first year doing it virtually because of everything, of course, happening with COVID. But however, I truly believe we have some amazing things planned for your child. And so if you are watching this, please share it. If you are a parent of a child between the ages of 6 months to high school, because you're going to get to meet each of our book club leaders and just their vision, get to learn a little bit about them. And also you'll get to learn about some of their favorite pieces of literature. And so we're going to be kind of coming in and out on the screen. You'll get to meet them individually, meet them as a team. I threw a wrench on them this morning and let them know that we're going to play Two Truths and a Lie. I think it's important that you kind of learn about people and their, just things you may or may not know. You might see someone and assume something. So I think it's important that we kind of kick off those assumptions. So I'm going to start it off. And if you are watching, you can, in the comments, speak to us, ask us questions. I want you to play along. Tell us what you think the lie is between what people share. And then we will get started with our individual sharing. So again, hey, Sigourney, right on time. I hope you got your two truths and a lie. So I'm gonna start it off. And again, on the screen, we're going to try to guess each other's lies, but I want you in the audience as well. Whatever you share, I can pull it up. So I would love for as much participation as possible. So here are my two truths and a lie. I have climbed a waterfall. I am scared of spiders, and my favorite color is blue.
Favorite color is the lie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with scared of spiders.
Any other guess? Favorite color. So going, I can't hear you. Hold on. Now,
there we go. I say ask it one more time.
So now you're gonna trip me up. I'm gonna forget what I said. Okay. I said I've climbed the waterfall. My favorite color is blue, and I'm scared of spiders. Which one of those is the lie? So we got my colors too. So I've heard spiders and I've heard my color. They think one of those has to be the lie.
I'm gonna say color is a lie.
I think I'm going to stick with spiders. You being afraid of spiders. I don't think you're afraid of spiders.
And Geraldine is correct. I am not scared of spiders. So blue is one of my favorite colors. All right. Who wants to go next?
I will go next.
Okay.
So very quickly, my name is Geraldine. I am the book club leader for the young scholars, the babies 6 months through 3 years old. And these are my two truths and a lie. First one is I'm a former preschool teacher. I am a victim of Hurricane Katrina, and I am an author. Do I need to say them again? Please say no.
So you said former preschool teacher, victim of Hurricane Katrina, and an author. Which y'all think is a lie? What's the lie?
Hurricane Katrina.
Arthur.
I'm gonna say preschooler.
Everybody got a different answer.
Any other guesses?
I'm gonna go with author just to be different.
What you think, Matt? Both
Hurricane Katrina.
Hurricane.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Both say
Okay, so my lie is actually that I am an author. I am a former preschool teacher, and I also am a Hurricane Katrina refugee.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
My,
Who's next?
listen, my
Who's
fault.
next?
My fault.
All right. Who next?
Okay, I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm Dana. I'm 4, and so my two lie are: I've lived in Virginia Beach. I am not afraid of rats, and my favorite color is green.
Because of
Green.
the hesitancy, I'm gonna
That
say
little
the color
hesitant.
green.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with green too.
I'm going with green. That's the lie.
Green.
Okay, that's the truth.
Really?
Yes.
So
No
what was
one
the
would-
lie?
The lie was rats. I don't.
You know, I was thinking like I would think she is afraid of rats, but the way you said that green, I was like, oh, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, the rat ones threw me too, though.
All right. Who next? Who next?
Yeah, I'll go next.
All right.
So my name is Quentin Arthur. You all can call me Q, and I'll be working with the high schoolers. So my two truths and a lie are that I didn't get my first library card until sophomore year of high school. The second one is that I bought over 50 books this year. And then the third one is that my favorite book is Succeeding Against the Odds by John H. Johnson.
I'm gonna go with the 50 books this year.
I'm going with the 50 books.
I think that's true. I'm gonna go with the last one. Your favorite book. I don't
I'm
think
with
that's
you.
true.
I'm with Jarema. With the quarantine, I feel like 50 books is feasible.
Look, they behind him right now. He got 50 books behind him right now.
You need them. You need them.
Right. That's why I'm looking at the background. I'm like, yeah, he read the book.
So the lie is that my library card was, I got it in middle school, not in sophomore year of high school.
Okay.
But
Got
when you order stuff online, you can get books.
Okay.
Gotcha. Who next? Sigourney or between the two next?
I'll go.
Okay.
So I'm Natalie Bonner. I will be one of the book club leaders for the high schoolers. And here are my two truths and a lie. I first started driving when I was 12 years old. I am fluent in French, and I was on stage with Genuine at one of his concerts.
Okay.
She was on stage with Genuine. She was on stage with Genuine. I believe that.
I'm going with the 12-year-old driving because the Genuine, I absolutely believe it.
Okay. What'd you think, Quentin?
I'm gonna actually go against the grain and say Genuine, depending on when it happened.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
He said he was one that was Genuine. Natalie, what you think?
No. Oh, you're the last.
It's hard. I believe the 12. I believe the Genuine. So the one outside of
Fluent in
those
French?
two.
The French.
The
Just speak French.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too. You can speak French.
Okay. So the lie is I was on stage with Genuine. That is my dream. I did start driving when I was 12, and I am fluent in French.
All right.
Wow.
My fault. Again.
All right, so either Sigourney or Natalie McKnight. One of you all gotta go.
I'll go. My dogs are really getting it in. Okay, two truths and a lie. My name is Sigourney. I am the Group 2 47-year-old leader. I'm excited to be here. Oh, my dog's embarrassing me. Two truths and a lie. I've been a competitive pianist. I fractured my spine. I studied abroad in Spain during college.
Mm,
What was the first one again?
Yeah, what was the
about
first one?
some of the piano.
Oh, the
Competitive pianist.
okay.
Um,
I'm gonna go with number one.
I'm going with the spine fracture.
yeah, I was gonna say the spine. I don't think he's
I
fresh.
say number one.
The
Spine.
piano.
Actually, I've never studied abroad in Spain. I've never been out the country. I did used to compete. I was a competitive pianist. I actually did fracture my spine in seventh grade, being a competitive tumbler on a cheerleading team. I got nicked in the air and landed flat on my back on the floor, and I had a brace on, and my mom called me RoboCop for 6 months. So I definitely did that. I definitely did that. Definitely
Oh
went to
wow!
Florida with a brace on, just walking around angry.
Wow.
Wow!
Okay.
Wow! Wow! All right, Nat, it's on you.
Okay. Two truths and a lie. Okay. I have 9 siblings. I am allergic to fish. I am left-handed.
Allergic to fish.
Yeah. Oh.
9
Nine
siblings?
siblings. 9 siblings.
I'm allergic to fish.
I'm gonna say allergic to fish.
Allergic to fish.
Ah.
That's the lie.
So you have 9 siblings.
I have 9, and the amazing story is, I grew up with one, and my what would be called or known as a stepdad, who I call dad, raised me. In my adult life, I received an inbox, finding out about a sister, and then that sister came 8 more after that in my adult life. Yes, wild story. First time telling it. This is a freeing moment for me because I've never spoken publicly about it, but it's all good now, and that is actually the truth.
Wow.
Wow, look at this. Okay,
Congratulations,
Yeah,
okay.
girl.
Well, snap it up,
yeah.
everybody. We got to
All
learn
right.
a little bit about our book club leaders. And so I want to share how this is going to go. It's going to be a very in and out process. So we're going to start with actually with Miss Dana. I'm so glad she was able to log on. She's actually in the doctor's office right now. So we're going to start. We're going to start with Miss Dana, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to bring each person in. But I want you to hear what they're going to do. So the first thing is that each person you're going to get to learn a little bit more about who they are. And then they're also going to share, they brought maybe their favorite song, book, anything, quote, maybe they'll rap sing for you. I don't know. Just putting that out there. But they'll share what's their
Ah,
favorite. And Natalie know I'm calling her out.
I know.
But and then they're going to share what their vision is for the group ultimately. And the reason we're doing this because I believe most of us on here, we don't work with children, we are parents ourselves, and you want to know who you are connecting your child with, right? You want to know what's their vision, what are they going to be doing, and we want you to know that you have picked the best group and the best group of people to work with because I think it's important. And so I see some questions already coming in the chat, which I appreciate. So please put them in the chat and we will answer it. So I know your question, Donna, is about if your child turns 4 in January, will they stay with the same group? I will definitely address that question. Okay. So we're going to get ready. I'm going to pull everyone off except for Dana. So just hold tight. And then after Dana, we're going to go in order. We're going to start with Geraldine, Sigourney, Nat, and then we're going to end with our team. All right. So I'm going to pull y'all out and then it'll be me and Miss Dana. All right. Hey, girl.
Hey.
So cool. We're going to start off. We're going to kick it off with our group 4, which I'm so excited about. And I want to share a little bit about Mrs. Dana before she shared about herself. Last year, we were looking for someone who could lead this group. Our former teacher, Miss Brittany Rowe, who I love to death, she was like, man, I don't know if I could do it. But I also wanted to make sure whoever took that spot was the perfect replacement. And so instantly, in talking to Dana, I was like, she's the one. She has just such a heart for children, her spirit. She's just naturally witty. And I just was so grateful that she joined our team. And then she also joined with her son, which was really cool as well. So if you could just share a little bit about yourself, Dana, for the people who have kids who are ages 11 to 14.
Sure. So again, my name is Miss Dana. My reasoning behind following up and accepting this as a book club and seeking it out was because at the time I have three, as my son let me know this the other day, I have three adults, and then there's him, and he's 12, and the other children were into books. The oldest boy, we had to get him into books using comics. The girls were always kind of sort of into books. And so for him, I was like, oh my goodness, I've got to get him to read because he wasn't making those AR points and things like that. And so this opportunity came along, and I was like, what? I had to try something different. It's always okay to try something different to learn with your kid. And that's what I did. And so this was my way of trying to get him to read. So it was the book club. I enjoyed it last year. I love little kids. I was telling Jaree before, it's funny because middle schoolers are really not my forte. Because they think they're smarter than you as an adult, but it's okay. The group that I have and had were amazing, middle schoolers. So they actually, tweaked me a little bit into actually liking them. So that's a good thing. I now truly understand that preteen age. And so, yeah, that's how I came along with joining the book club. And last year was an awesome year. It was amazing. And I'm glad I'm here to do it again this year.
Awesome. So I'm going to, because I know, like, as you all could see, she is occupied. I want to pull out just for a second, just so it can just be you on the screen. I would love for you to, I know you can share just like, what's your vision for this group, knowing that that's just a very interesting time frame. Like if I was a parent watching right now, like why should I sign up my middle schooler tween to be a part of your particular club? And just what can they expect this year being in your group? So I'm gonna pull out and then I'll come back once I can tell you.
Okay. Hi, guys. Okay. So the reason why, well, what you can expect from my group is this. I truly understand the psychology of the preteen, the tween. And like I mentioned before, they're into wanting to have a voice and to be heard. And they do think that they're smarter than the rest of us. With that knowledge of knowing that that is how they think, I take the role as a reading guide or a facilitator. So I allow them to express what they want to come out of the book club. So I give them the environment to voice their feelings, to voice their opinions, to voice their thoughts in reference to the books that we read. So I just act as a guide. That is all. As you'll see and what you'll get from them with my book club is they do have a voice. And because they aren't allowed to use their voices a lot and to talk about their feelings and to talk about their opinions, mainly in the normal world, I do allow them to do that with the guidance of a book. So for our book club, we typically do a series. Like last year, we did a series by Jason Reynolds, and it was the track series, and that was what we pretty much read through the year for the book club. This year, we're going to do the Bluford High series. We won't make it through all of the books. We'll try to go in order of the books, but I like that series because it includes a lot of things that are relevant to today. Is both male and female characters. The things that happen that they are going through at this age are talked about and expressed in the book. So for that reason, that is why I chose that particular series of books. Um, what's also great, the books are available at your local library. You can download them via audio. Well, this is for the parents. For the parents, you can download them audio so that you'll know what they're reading as well too. But of course, you can get the ebook as well. And most of the books right now are less than about 200 pages for the Buford series. So it shouldn't take them very long to read and then to come back and reflect and talk about the book. Um, one of the reasons why I like series is one of my favorite authors was Judy Blume growing up. And she wrote the book Best Friends Forever. And for me, the reason why I love, especially this age with reading, is a lot of time, a lot of the books will help mold you as a person. So if you get a very good book by a very good author, especially during this particular time when you're still trying to figure out yourself. So you're at the end of middle school, but you're not in high school, but you don't really know a lot about who you are, who you want to be. Sometimes these books be like, oh, they'll spark a little something. For me, it was the craziest thing. I now, because of my book, my favorite book, had to, even to this day, I put my clothes in my closet by color, and they all go the same way, as well as the hanger. Who knew? Okay, maybe that's a little OCD, but I did get that from that book. Um, and that's just one of the things that I've, learned, and it kept me organized. Who thought that something like that would keep me organized even in daily life outside of just my closet? So there's a lot of little things that you can pick up from reading. There's a lot of dreams that you can actually visualize and become more vivid with books. Um, they help you deal with a lot of different scenarios and situations that you come up with. So, like I said, that's why I picked these series. This is why I hope that your kids will come into, and again, I create the environment so that they are able to use their voice, so that they are able to state their opinion and not feel like they can't. Um, so that's how I will partake in developing this group. So just note when we're on, and if you hear them saying some things that you're like, why are you saying, certain things? It's really okay. They need a space to give voice. And I like to tell people you have a voice, so you have to use it. And so that's what you can expect as a parent for your child and my book club. So yeah.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So again, as you all are listening to each of the book club leaders, if you have a particular question that's specific for a teacher, and if for some reason maybe they're not on when we get to those question and answer part, please just put it in the comments and we will make sure to answer them. Again, as you all heard, her vision, what the setting is for that group. That is a very, very interesting group that she just said. I taught middle school for 5 years. And so that's the year where a lot of parents are like, my son and daughter is not the same kid anymore. Like, I don't know why she cares more about what her friend thinks than what I think, or he don't really talk as much as he used to. And they need a space like that they're able to be around their peers. So I really, really, really encourage you all to try it out. You see at the bottom where to register. And again, if you have any questions for myself or Miss Dana, please let us know. Thank you. See you later, Dana.
Bye.
All right. I'm going to pull Dana out, and we're going to, from this point forward, go in order of ages, right? So let me talk a little bit about who you're going to meet next, which is Miss Geraldine, who is over Group 1. She has done an amazing job last year. She joined our team, and I'm so grateful that she did. She does an amazing job with our babies. As many of you all heard, even in her intro, like she was a preschool teacher, which I'm sure she'll share a little bit more about. But it's just so important that we are getting our kids excited from and reading from birth. Like, I've talked to parents, and they're getting their kids in the middle school group, and in that 4 to 7 year old group. I'm like, but it all starts when they're in your belly. So when we have these book clubs for our group one, I believe if anything, that's the most important group. So I'm going to pull Jalen in so you can learn a little bit more about her and also her vision for the group. And then we will go from there. Hello.
Good morning again.
Yes. So I'm gonna I did the intro. I'm gonna pull out. It's your show, okay?
Okay,
So
sounds good. So once again, my name is Geraldine. I am the book club leader for our babies for 6 months to 3 years old. I actually have a child that is in my group. She will be 2 in November. So she is a part of our group. She's been a part of our group since I've been a part of the group, and I also have a 12-year-old that I just completely throw off to Miss Dana because, like you said, they think they know everything. So hey, here you go, Dana. So anyways, but I have 2 major visions for the younger students, for our younger scholars in our book club. And one is our book club is probably more geared towards family involvement than any of the other book club ages. And that's because it's almost like a family in the book club. So our parents or our grandparents or aunts or uncles or whoever it is that is with our babies for that day or during that time, they are in the group with them. So we do a lot of family activities. And one of the most important components to me is that family connection, that family time. Unfortunately, with the younger babies and in my life as well, I'm a working parent. And I'm a school counselor. And so I'm dedicating a lot of time to other parents, students throughout the day, and I'm giving them my 100% and making sure that they're in a safe environment and making sure that they have what they need in order to thrive. And my child is with somebody else making sure, and that other person, her daycare provider, is the one that's making sure that she's receiving all of those things during the day. And so I needed to find a time and a space where myself and my youngest daughter could really bond, could really link over something that's very important to me, which is reading. I've always been a vast reader. When I was younger, everybody else was out riding their bikes and, doing things as a group, and I was at home reading. It was just something that I have always been attached to and I've always loved. So I had to find a safe time and a safe space for me to interact with my daughter and show her the things that were important to me. And so this book club was that. It gave me that time to not only show my love of reading to other parents and other children, but it was also a time for me and my daughter to bond. And so that was one of the amazing components to me, was the fact that there was a space where working families, moms and dads are able to say, I have this designated time, at least once per month, where I'm able to get into an environment with other working parents, other working members of families that are trying to provide a safe structured space for their young child to not only have fun, but to also be able to interact socially, emotionally, developmentally. There's so many things that are behind the scenes with this book club. We are presenting books to parents and to children, monthly, but just to see the babies be able to interact with each other and, hug each other and learn how to share and learn how to, take turns with playing with toys and being able to develop skills to, sit down for a few minutes and read a book, and they see a color that they're excited about. So they're pointing and they're yelling and they're screaming and they're running up to me while I'm reading our book for the month. And they are, just excited about learning. And so when you get excited about learning at such a young age, and having that support, it just continues on throughout their, educational career. And that's what's important. As Jarima stated to me, that's one of the most important things to me, is getting them excited when they're young. When you get them excited and you embed this in them when they're young, it becomes an expectation as they get older. So it's not something that's being introduced to them in an older age and you have to almost get them to buy into it. It becomes a norm. It becomes a routine. So it's a routine to, not only just have your school books, but also have your, book that you are reading for, for fun and enjoyment and entertainment. And I think that that's something that's, really important. It's also with all of the major stressors that we have in the world right now, to be able to grab a book and be in another world for a couple of minutes, and just be able to think about that book and what we're reading about and what we're talking about at the time. It's also a stress reliever. So the family component, and then of course with the academic component, like I stated, I think it's really important to provide a structured environment at this young age, because it becomes their expectation, not only for them, but for, parents as well. It becomes our expectation to make sure that we stay involved in our students in academic engagement, and stay involved in our students, social and emotional and developmental stages that they're going to be going through. There's a lot of different factors that come into play when you are, developing your young child. And so you want to make sure that you are exposing them to many, as many positive structures as possible, and so, and it gives us an opportunity. One of my favorite books, this is one of my books that we read in book club, Full of Love. What I try to do is I try to make sure that I find as many authors that look like us as possible. And I think that that's also really important to expose, because not only monthly do we expose our students to new books, but we also expose them to new up and coming authors. And so I think that that's, really important, that they see pictures that look like us, and they see, just, showing different, just showing people that look like us, showing characters that look like us, and talking about positive things, talking about love in the household, talking about, different creative ways that we can expose our children to reading and to books in our household. And we also do a lot of family activities, a lot of family projects. So I come up with a project for every book that we have. And it varies. Sometimes it's just, if we're reading like Llama Llama Red Pajama, we may say, oh, make sure that you wear your favorite pajamas to to book club. We had a book, and I can't remember what the name of the book of it was, but we had a project where the babies made their own shakers. So they were making instruments. We have a lot of toys in our group, and they were learning how to make their own instruments. So, and it was easy things. We don't have anything that cost a lot of money. So it was a water bottle with some rice, a couple of beads, put that. I was looking for it, but my 2-year-old, who knows where she put it. But it was really, all of the materials were under $5. And so, just having them interact with each other, and having them, learn how their fine motor skills and their gross motor skills. There's just so many different things that are behind this, book club. And with me being a former preschool teacher, I know that how important it is to introduce all of this at a young age, in order to provide those expectations, for them, at this young age. Even with my daughter starting at about, 6 or 7 months, she started book club before she was even able to walk, at a point in time when she was just crawling around. But I do believe that also helped with her development, because she wanted to go behind some of the other students that were already walking, so she was looking at them and see what they were doing and seeing how they were interacting with each other, and that pushed her and motivated her to do more. So I'm just really excited about this opportunity. And I'm excited about doing it virtually as well, because now it's turning from more of a local activity to a global activity. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is that we can have new parents, and our parents from last school year, and then our new parents come in and just come into our inviting community. So I hope that anyone that has a baby between the ages of 6 months to 3 years, I hope that you are excited about this, and that you go ahead and log into Burst Into Books. The website is down at the bottom, and go ahead and register your babies, and I look forward to working with you all.
Awesome. So again, if you have any questions, I do see one I want to address at the moment. So Donna asks, and then we'll go to group 2. She asked, if your child turns 4 in January, will they stay in group 3? So I'm going to give my answer, and I definitely want Geraldine, because she is the expert in this area. I think it's all about what they're able to do. Like what happens in the group 1 is a little bit more different. It's different in group 2. Group 2 is a lot more independent, in that the parents are not really in that space, and the kids are able to really follow directions that Ms. Sigourney, which she'll talk about next. So I think come January, because I taught kindergarten before, just because a child is a particular age, it's about what they're able to handle at that moment. If that makes sense. So sometimes they still need a little bit more guidance. Maybe you don't feel like they're totally comfortable to be in a setting where it's just them and a teacher. Maybe they still need your support. So that would be my answer. I would say if they're totally ready for group 2, we'll take them up. If not, it doesn't hurt that they're in there for the next like 5 months with group 1, and then in the new year they'll be in group 2. What would you think, Gerald?
So I would definitely say that it would be a decision for the parent to make. It's not your child would not have to move to group 2 because they turn 4. And I think that was the question, is if they would have to move. And I believe that answer is no. That would be a collaborative effort. If it was something you want to speak to me about, speak to Jarima about, and then you all can go home and talk about it as well. But that student absolutely does not have to move to group 2. They are more than welcome to stay with group 1. I think that there's a transition, that would need to occur going from group 1 to group 2. And of course, that student would be showing, various maturity levels versus like a 6-month-old or a 10-month-old. But I do think that in everything, there should be a smooth transition. So we definitely would not say, oh, well, your baby turned 4, so they can no longer come to this group. And the group 2 is 4 to 7. So when they go to group 2, they'll be in group 2 for a while. So I think just providing a smooth transition for that student, and maybe even letting them go, like maybe, a couple of times, stay a couple of minutes, maybe after group 1, and kind of just, observing group 2 and just showing them what group 2 is all about. I think, having that time in those, few months to be able to provide a smooth transition for that child. So it's like, hey, look where you're going to be going next school year. See what they're doing, but they still are going to be able to have a smooth transition from those relationships and those attachments that they've created in group 1. So no, your child would not have to move to group 2. Yeah. And I think that as us being educators and also being parents as well, we would definitely be able to step in and help with that transition moving from group 1, to group 2.
Awesome. So Donna, if that answers your question, let us know. If not, we definitely are here. And we look forward to seeing your baby. So thank you, Geraldine. We are going to move on to Miss Sigourney, who is over our group 2. And what I wanted to share, as you all know, I'm doing my little intro before each person. Sigourney has been with me since day 1, and I'm so appreciative of her. Many of you all who have been a part of book club, whether your child was in group 2 or not, you know her because just of her spirit and just what she brings to a space. Many of the parents who are watching that I know were in book club before. If you have questions or if you want to share anything about group 2 or any of these groups, I think it just helps to have, if this was a normal open house, we would have parents from previous years and our new parents to be able to talk. So if you have been a part of book club, I would love for you to share your experience. She's totally right. That's what group 1 is like. That's what group 2 is like. Because that will help as well. But then also, if you have questions like Ms. Donna did, and if it's applicable to that group, I'll just answer it right away. But again, Ms. Sigourney is just amazing. And you will just hear her vision for the group, learn a little bit more about her. And again, if you have any questions about registering, let us know, and we will make sure that those questions are answered. So I'm going to bring Ms. Sigourney in. she get herself together, y'all. Don't worry. There she go. I can't hear you. Muted.
See, that's what I'm saying.
I hear that.
I'm trying to get with it, and my dogs are really calling Jesus in. But
yeah. So it's all you. It's all you. I'm about to pull out.
Okay, I'm really excited to be here. Let me go let him out. I'm gonna walk and talk if that's okay with you, Jarima.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to be here. Absolutely. I was we were just having a business conversation with Jarima. I already feel that it was going to be something amazing, phenomenal, so impactful, something needed. Always has been good out here for our youth. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of kids who they do not love literature, they don't have any sense of motivation or research. And having that space of a very old-fashioned, old-school book club, it really warms my heart, not to mention her business. So I want to shout out to Serena, because she's been doing phenomenal things in our community. She's been doing phenomenal things when it comes to our youth. And I want to her for providing the space for us to have this conversation and to have a book club Club for our babies. So about group two, they're my 47-year-olds. I love leading this group. I've been in, did I mute myself? I can't hear you.
Okay, so now we hear you a little better. This is what I'm gonna do. I think for whatever reason, when I pulled out, we couldn't hear you as clear. Talk again.
Can you hear me better now?
You're good. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna just take my camera out so they're not looking at me, but I want you to keep talking. I just want them to make sure they can hear you.
Okay.
So
Got it. Okay, I hope everyone can still hear me. But my name is Sigourney. I've actually been in education for 10 years. I taught kindergarten for 5.5 years. So I'm here with the 47-year-olds, of course. I taught kindergarten, first grade, second grade, fifth grade, high school, 11th and 12th grade level. I'm also a certified learning specialist, and a certified, well, not certified, but a reading interventionist. So I'm very big about like differentiation, supporting babies who have special needs, in addition to really focusing in on literacy to make sure that children are growing. We're tracking that growth, we're focusing on data and development. But now that the formalities are out the way, I truly believe that today a reader, tomorrow a leader. And I say this every time I meet with my group. I post it on every, you can't hear me? Oh, I posted on everything that I give to parents, that I share with the book club, because I strive to really create an atmosphere where love, learning, and laughter are on every day's agenda. I couple arts and academics for the purpose of developing leaders who have a love for literature as well as social emotional skills, because that is very important. I want kids to not only love books, but I want them to love themselves. I want them to feel comfortable sharing these things with the world or whoever they so please. And then also with that in mind, one of my favorites is Hey Black Child. That is something that I typically anchor my groups in. Me and the babies work on it from the day we meet until when we wrap up a session, just because I think it is one of those empowerment pieces for kids. Like, hey, Black child, do you know who you are, who you really are? Do you know you could be what you want to be if you try to be what you can be? Hey, Black child, be what you can be, learn what you must learn, do what you can do, and tomorrow the next will be what you want it to be. I really want kids to believe that. I want them to feel that. And when they sit down to read a piece of literature, why I incorporate the art or the arts, is because I want them to imagine themselves in that piece. And I think that's what goes along with developing a love for literature at 4 to 7 years old. It's really seeing yourself in those stories, really being able to connect it to your real life. So typically I'll start off with a book such as Crown, which is about a young man who is so proud of his fade. He loves going to the barbershop. Basically a place where he goes and he gets to meet with the old cats and they teach him lessons. He feels so much pride about his hair. But I love it because I see all of the boys of color in my group sit down and be like, oh, Miss Sigourney, I love when I go to the barbershop. Oh, my barber's name is this. And they're able to really connect it to their lives. And as a result, they want to keep reading. They want to see what more in that book they can relate to, what more in that book they can connect to. And then they want to go tell their parents about it. They want to tell their friends about it. And then they're asking me, what other books do you have? Just really fostering that love for learning. And that's a big thing for me at 4 to 7, is really fostering that love for learning. I want them to read as many books as they can, but I want them to do so because they're intrinsically motivated to do so, because they sit down and they see themselves in that space. They can imagine everything. They want to sing a song to it. They want to make a dance with it. And we do a lot of that. If ever you come in my room, half the time we're probably not sitting down, because we're doing some form of movement, we're doing some form of interaction, because that's another thing with the 4 to 7-year-old group. I'm not going to have those babies sitting in a chair for 1 hour. That's not going to go well. I mean, they would do it out of compliance, but that's not fostering that love. I'll give them options. So I'll have 3 or 4 activities planned for the day. We'll read our book. I'll tell them those activities and I allow them to choose. That's that buy-in right there, because they're already like, okay, I picked this activity. This is my activity. And seeing themselves in it, feeling like they have a voice and they have a choice. Because once again, I don't want it to just be a saying that today a reader, tomorrow a leader. I want them to know that they too lead in that space. I'm there just to be a facilitator of their imagination. And that's how I look at it. I'm here to be a facilitator of your imagination. I do sight words. That's a big thing for me. I'm very big about sight words because I can read the book to them. I can do the voices, but really giving them those sight words is what allows them to go back in the book. And even if they can't read it all on their own, they can identify those sight words. So every time they leave my group, they'll typically come out with some index cards, and those will be their sight words from that session. I give them each a ring, and they just keep bringing those sight words each and every time that they come, so that we're really building their vocabulary. We're building that word bank for them, in addition to other skills. We've talked about rhyme. We talk about rhyme patterns. We talk about, so many different things. I just got excited thinking about all the things that we're going to do this upcoming session. But I'm really excited about everything that's going to happen in Group 4 to 7. This has become a passion of mine outside of just teaching. Like being in this space, doing this book club is a passion of mine because I have my own 11-year-old son, and I want to treat each kid the way I hope that my son's teachers are treating him, teaching him. So it's exactly what I set out to do. We also talk about respect. We talk about love. We talk about identity. We talk about so many different topics, and I let the kids choose, and we bring that to the next book club, because then they get excited and they want to come back. Think about a few of my babies like Dawson. Dawson is one of my riders. I've had Dawson since the beginning, but every time Dawson comes, she remembers what we talked about last time. Miss Sigourney, are we going to talk about? And I love that because they're taking ownership over their experience. And I want them to feel like they have ownership over their learning. They have ownership over their leadership. And that's why we say today a reader, tomorrow a leader. Once again, I'm really excited to be in this space. I'm really excited to have you all in this space. If you all have any questions for me, one of the things that I love and that I specialize in is doing this in the home. Being a single mother myself, I really had to be intentional about the things that I did with my son. I didn't always have all the time in the world. I didn't always have all the patience in the world. I was tired a lot of the time. So a lot of what I do is to try to create things that parents can do at home, be it a single mother, be it a family, be it a sister, brother, auntie, uncle, things that the kids can do independently, but things that parents can then join in. And then also, once again, if you're a single parent, things that you can do at home that aren't always cumbersome, providing those resources, providing that space, providing those materials, just all of those things to make sure that this is a holistic experience and that all stakeholders who are involved in really building these babies and building these leaders, building this generation, have everything that they need to make sure that they are truly successful. So once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me, reach out to Jarima. Sign your babies up, 4 to 7 years old. As it was always stated, if they were in the last group and they're not ready to move, that's perfectly fine. Because when they get to me, I do push for more independence. So if you feel like social emotionally, that's not where they are, please make that call for your kids. Absolutely. Just like I had Jarima's son Trey in my group, and although he was of age, he was beyond what we were doing. And I said, Trey can go to the next group. He can go to the high school group. But we're going to always do what's best for the individual child. We're going to always differentiate to make sure each kid gets what they need. And we're going to make sure that they have a safe, supported space to truly feel like they can be who they want to be, learn what they want to learn, because tomorrow the world will be what they create it to be. This is a time for the world to be changed. The world is changing. This is a time to rebuild. And our babies are going to be the ones who lead this next generation. And I truly set forth to make sure that they are confident, they are independent, they're just zealous. And I have a big personality. So if your babies leave me a little bit bigger than they were, I don't apologize, because that's just them being their best selves and living their best life. Here's my dog. But once again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Please, because I'm really excited.
Look,
I'm really excited
at
to meet him.
cameo. Look at your dog.
Yes, he was not having it. You gonna say hi to the people? No, you just want to cuddle. Okay.
Well, I just
Jarima, thank you for this platform. Thank you for what you're doing. I want to say that again. No, thank you. No, thank you. Because this is all here because of one woman who decided that there needed to be change, and there needed to be something added to the community, and that there was a gap and a void that needed to be filled. And you have done a phenomenal job with making sure that that happens and continuing to press for this generation. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited for all that you are doing and all that God has in store for you, because this is only the beginning. This is only the beginning. I know I'm gonna have some 4 to 7 year olds from Ireland popping in sooner than later. You know what I'm saying? From Mexico. I'm going, you're pushing me to learn, because I know that this is going to be global, international, because this is phenomenal and there is nothing like it out here. So thank you. And thank you to the parents for trusting us with your babies, because they are in phenomenal hands. I guarantee you.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Sigourney. Thank you so much. And I'm gonna address the question that came up. I'm gonna pull Ms. Nat in, and thank you so much. I just love you. All right. All right, so I'm going to address one of the questions that was asked, and as you heard Ms. Sigourney state, my son was in her group, so this is a family affair, and I appreciate her, because anyone who knows my son, he's just amazing. And so I'm going to pull in Ms. Nat, because he is now in her group. And I'm appreciative of both of them, because this is our village. Like, I'm so big about the village and just about us working together, because again, we need each other. And so as much as, yes, I'm over this, my son is a part of this book club. He's been a part of it since day one. And I'm appreciative of not only Mr. Sigourney, because he did graduate too, who you're going to meet next, Ms. Nat. And to Donna's question, I want to answer that really quickly. We provide the parents with books at least 3 months in advance. So I will actually, after this, when you register for the book club, we have created Google Classrooms for each of the groups, since we're virtually. And the teacher will actually put in there what their books are. So you will know, at least, we try to give it at least 3 months in advance. One, because you can order them on Amazon. As you already heard, Miss Dana, the series they're going to read. So the parents can already get the series or get it from the library. But you will know at least 3 months in advance the books they're using. We don't do the whole year, just because things change, right? The feel of the group might be going in one direction. You don't want to be stuck to it, but you will definitely know at least 3 months in advance. And you will only get that list, though, if you register. So once you register, we will add you to the Google Classroom, and you'll have access to the books, the reading guides, all the stuff that we put with those books. Okay, so hopefully that helps your question. And then I know our kids need to be introduced to the world of reading. Thank you. Awesome. I do agree, Carmelita. And I love you. I can't wait to see my Carmela. So we're going to go ahead and bring in group 3. We're going to keep this party going. And here is Miss Nat. What's up? You muted. Hold on. Let me take you on mute. Okay. I hear you now.
Okay. You can hear me?
Okay. Yeah, you good now. Yeah. So I'm not gonna talk long, you all, because we're on a strict time schedule, and I want to keep this to be respectful of your time. But Miss Nat, I'm gonna bring up, who is amazing. She's also been with me since day one, and I truly appreciate her heart, and I appreciate her love for the kids. I'm gonna have her share who she is and her background and her vision for group 3 for our 8 to 10 years old. You got the floor.
Hello, everybody. As Jarima said, I am Miss Natalie for 8 to 10 years old, and my whole vision for the group is reading a book. To me, is a bridge to real life. In my space, we embrace real life through literature. While we are learning about our history, while we are learning things like metaphors and similes and coming across different types of literature, we're also embracing real life. Even though this is a book club for children and teenagers, children go through things as well. Children face life in a total different way than we faced life when we were children. So I use the stories as a bridge to reach them where they are right now, and do some character building, do some bridge building, and also some intervention. Last, I want to say, season, we focused on Christopher Paul Curtis, who is one of my favorite children authors. All of our authors are African Americans, and they tell our stories. However, in the stories that we covered, we attacked a lot of the history known as slavery, known as just brutal treatment of African Americans. But Christopher Paul Curtis has such a way of embracing that history that it's not just a shock, It gives them a shock, but it also keeps them intrigued. So it's historical fiction mixed with nonfiction to tell stories, but I'm really about the character of that child. And as I said, the literature is a bridge to reach them. In my setting, it is structured, but it is relaxed. I allow the children to be themselves. I embrace them. We embrace each other while learning and learning about one another. And it has been a blast. I invite the children to choose books as well, so they can, as Sigourney stated, have that open door, and they're already involved when they get a chance to have a say so about the books and the literature that they are going to read. It has been more than a blast with the 8 to 10-year-olds, because some of the 8 to 10-year-olds are actually 12 to 14-year-olds. I learned, but we meet the child right where they are. So we shape them with the literature, give them academics, but above everything, their character, because we want them to grow not just into productive citizens, but we want them to be a whole. We're focusing on the whole child. Like I said, children are going through so much more than we are. So we embrace that space. Sometimes we get on conversation that is outside of the book because they feel comfortable sharing what's going on in their life. And I bridge that back to a character that we have read about, back to a setting that we have covered, back to an author that we have discussed. So literature for me, it is a bridge to the core of that child to reach them in their character. We come across characters that we don't want to be like, and we delve into those qualities. Well, what is wrong with that character? What don't you like about that character? Where did that character mess up? Do you have qualities like that character? Let's deal with that. Let's dig deep, because we know that academics, we know that knowledge is not the only thing that is necessary to thrive in this world. Our children have to be equipped for life, and that goes beyond education. That deals with the life outside of the classroom, and I choose stories that allow us to go into that while still keeping them in the realm and the borders that are appropriate for them. It has been a blast. I have had the privilege of students sharing things and being able to talk to parents about, hey, this was going on. What can you do? What can we do? As Jarima stated, we are a village, and we're not just concerned about excelling in school, but out of the classroom as well. Jarima called me out for a poem, so I would just like to share a quick freestyle about burst into books and who I am. I didn't share anything about myself yet. So currently, I am teaching kindergarten and first grade. I have a split class. I usually have second and third, but I have taught ages that are older through theater, drama classes, poetry, the arts as a whole, all ages. I also serve as a mentor to young adults, teens, and children. I am all about community. That village is important. That's one of the core focuses and keys of Burst into Books. So now, just a freestyle. When you burst into books, you burst into knowledge. You burst into things that can bring you to college. But when you get to the classroom, let me show you what you can do. And that's what burst into books will really do. See, we are concerned for you. We give you the best of the books and the best of the literature. And we hope that it hits you with things that you will remember to bridge you and take you into your destiny. I am Miss Natalie, and I have an amazing team around me. And we have a beautiful leader, but we are led, and tears are shed by our ancestors. And we are here this day to bring you community, literature, learning, brainstorming, writing, and crafting, grafting and shaping who you are and your soul, reaching your mind, leaving our past behind, but remembering the best of the books that we have read from, studied from, and learned from. This is Burst into Books. I hope you are ready, because the journey is just beginning. Thank you.
Girl,
Girl, you better stop.
The dreamer called me out. Okay.
No, I said she can handle it though. I don't call out people that can't handle it. You can handle it though. So awesome. Thank you so much. Those who are listening, again, you see at the bottom where you can register. I know Ms. Donna has some questions. She said she's excited now. She already registered her son for group one. She can't wait. She's excited everything she's heard. And we got more people that's been coming in and out. I really hope you all are taking in and just seeing how dope this team is. We're with our last group now, and I'm so excited because this is my newest group. So I'm gonna take you out. Thank you, Nat.
Thank you.
And let me just kind of share about this last group, which I'm so excited about because last year I wanted to kick off a teen book club, but it just didn't feel right. Not that I didn't have the right people, because I had some amazing people on board. Just the timing, just like everything just wasn't flowing. But this year I said, I want to make sure that we incorporate a teen group because many of my teens from group 4 were moving into teens. And also I just think it's a necessary space. And then God put on my heart, you know what? The problem is that you can't have one person, you need 2 people. Right. And so I thought about like, you're right. Because with teens, I teach high school. You got to have spaces where you can have that real, authentic conversation. And then there's sometimes things that the boys don't want to talk with the girls don't want to talk to the boys. But then also teens like to debate. So there are going to be times where you will have them together and you got to have some people who are able to relate, who can connect with them and push them to think outside the box as well and be creative in that space. And so I put it out there again of like, hey, I want to do this teen group. And these were 2 amazing people that stood up to the challenge. I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Quinn, who I've just come to really revere. And he don't know I've been seeing his work in the background. And he just has an amazing heart for people and super duper talented. And then Nat as well, we've been connected and working together on things even outside the book club. And so I just know that them together is a dynamic duo. And you need to register your teams. We talk about what can we do to help our teens get it together. They need to be in spaces where they can use their energy constructively and be able to be in spaces where people will push them and show them how to use their voices to really make change. And so I'm about to bring both of these dynamic people to the screen. So we got Mr. Quentin and Miss Nat. Hello.
Hey.
Hey, so just like everybody else, I'm gonna pull out and I'm gonna let y'all take it. You all are closing us out. Definitely, as you all can see, our vision for Burst Into Blue is that our babies start at group 1 and then they end up in their group, right? So if you heard Miss Geraldine already talking about molding those minds, you got Sigourney that got them moving and shaking and talking. You just saw Nat and her creativity, and then Miss Dana, and then they land into the high school. Okay, so we done worked with them, and I'm just excited to hear their vision. So I'm gonna pull out. And y'all got the floor.
Okay. Well, I'm Natalie Bonner. I am from Aurora, Illinois. I'm a mother. I am a Delta, proud Delta Sigma Theta member. And I'm also a business owner and author. A little bit about my vision for the girls in the teenage club is to promote individuality while encouraging teamwork, and also to promote creativity and to provide a safe space for everyone who's in the book club. Quentin?
All right. Hi, nice to meet you all. My name is Quentin Arthur, but you all can call me Q. A little bit about my background is that I work over at the Chicago Urban League, but before coming there, I was in education. So I worked with high school students. I'm a mentor with 100 Black Men in Chicago. And then outside of that, I do photography, videography, and a few other things. So I'm really excited to work with the teens. One thing that I want to introduce with Natalie to the group is to educate and empower you all and do things that apply to you in real life. So a lot of the time when we read things in school, especially in high school, from what I remember, it was just to get ready for a test or to learn a different thing. But none of the things that I remember reading applied to real life. So I think one of the shared vision we have is to do like an end of the year project, whether it's a podcast, a video, something exciting that you all can use and take on to the next stage in life. So we're going to be learning a lot about different genres, different topics and things. It'll be exciting to do the debate. So I'm really excited to work with you all. And I think one more thing that we have to add is our favorite book or poem or quote. So recently, you all heard the news about Chadwick Boseman passing. So the book that I'll recommend today are the graphic novels by Ta-Nehisi Coates of Black Panther. So these are really good if you want to learn more about Wakanda, Afrofuturism, things like that. I would really suggest you all check these out.
Okay, as far as the quote for me, it is from Malala Yousafzai, and it's, "We realize the importance of our voice when we are silenced." That's really important, especially for the high schoolers. You guys are about to enter the world, and things are different now than all of us grew up in. These are exciting times, however. What we want to encourage with our group is you all to expand your voice, to realize what your voice is, and to scream that thing out. We're going to be doing all types of exciting activities in addition to the books, like open mic, writing, art, and some breakout sessions. I have a nonprofit organization called Talented 10th Social Services. So I definitely plan on assisting any of the groups with things that they may need as far as materials, with extracurriculars that we may have with our group. To expand on what Quentin was saying, we want to make sure that we're establishing some meaningful relationships and reinvigorating the sense of community between all of us, because we have to. And the high schoolers, they are at a point in their lives where it's a lot of confusion, a lot of anxiety. We have to calm them, and it's our job to make sure their transition is easier. So whatever help you guys may need as far as the parents or with the students, please let me know, let Quentin know, let Jarima know. We are a community, we care, and we're going to do our best to make sure that we give them excellence, because excellence is the only choice.
Y'all are so dope. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So as you all heard from Quentin and from Natalie, your teams are going to be not only pushed to learn how to apply what they're reading, but also to be change agents. How can they use the arts and digital and all these different things to be able to get their voice heard? So again, go to the bottom where you see www.burstintabooks.org and register your teams. We have teams, and even as we've been doing this live, people have been registering, which I'm so excited about. Share this video so more people are able to learn more about our actual book club. And there go my son peeping around the corner. Well, yeah. But just share so you're able to learn more and stay connected. Love you all both. I'm gonna pull you out and we're gonna close it out. So before we are done, I think I've answered every question that people had, but I did want to just do a very, very quick overview of how does the book club work. So the first thing is that you will need to go to www.burstintabooks.org and register. Okay. In the previous years, because we were in person, we did an Eventbrite. You would just register that way and show up. We are being very intentional in making sure that the spaces online are safe, and that not only is it safe, but that we're very organized on how we get you information. So we have chosen to do Google Classrooms. And so you have to be invited and added to those classrooms. The only way you would be added and invited is by registering. So you need to go to burstintabooks.org, click events, and you'll see book club. There you will click register and you will be already put on the list. So I already know I had a parent ask me, was their child registered? They are. We will be starting to email parents this week to start adding you to that Google Classroom, because teachers have already put their welcome notes, and we're going to start letting you know about books and materials you'll need for the upcoming months. So again, the only way you are added to the book club is by registering for the book club. That's the first thing. Secondly, we meet every third Saturday of the month. So our very first book club is actually September the 19th. So September 19th, will be our very first day. It will be more of a like introduction, get to know you day. There is not a book for that book club day because it's more so like establishing what that space is, getting to know you. They will probably engage in some different texts that will be, given and maybe posted ahead of time for them to read. But as far as a whole novel or book by September 19th, that's not what will happen. It will be more so of establishing what that group looks like. You will, though, receive what the book is for October and going forward. The book club is from September all the way to May. Okay, we do September to May. June, I usually do a really big celebration. We do a big Juneteenth family festival at Dan Ryan Woods this past year. We had to reschedule it due to everything, but I plan on next year, God willing, we'll be able to do that. So again, the book club is from September to May, and then we do a really big family festival, get to know you event, and like family fun day in June for Juneteenth. So again, you will be able to register, and once you register, you're in. Okay, so once you're registered in the Google Classroom, you will then just get everything from there. Again, every third Saturday, and also when you register online, you'll see the times in which the group meets. Each group meets at a different time on that third Saturday. The next thing is that books, you will know at least 3 months in advance what they are, so you're able to order them, have them, ebooks, Kindles, go to the library, whatever the case may be. If there's materials, as you heard Ms. Nat says, so we'll give you the list for the crafts. We'll give you the list for the different books. If finances is an issue, let us know, right? If you don't have access to those coloring utensils, we will connect with you. We have things at our building. We can, make sure your family is good. We don't want there to be any reason why a kid cannot participate. Also, membership is free. Again, membership is free. However, free does not mean that it's not high quality and not the best space for your child. Every book club has a guest author. So every time your child arrives to book club, they will meet a new author. We also, like I said, have the interactive activities, the focus book of the month. We would have put questions in that Google Classroom ahead of time for you to be able to go over that text with your child. Again, all of this is included in your free membership. Also, when you register, you will receive a membership card and some other things that come along with being a part of the book club. So again, membership means that you get access not only to meeting these authors, the different focus groups and the questions, but you also are able to get your hands on some really good quality text as well. Is there anything I'm missing? Again, if you have any other questions, put them in the comments. The last thing I want to say is, you all, this is going to be an amazing, amazing time. I understand we wish we could be in person. Trust and believe we do as well. However, we have been very, very intentional in making sure that the space is interactive and fun. I know some of us are worried about our little kids and babies being on a Zoom type event. You all, it's going to be perfect. It's going to be great. Set up that computer, set up your phone, let your baby yell, let them cry, let them roll on the ground while they're singing the song, because guess what? They do that when we're in person as well. So it doesn't have to be perfection. It's just the more that we're exposing our kids to these different resources, they're being able to take that in, and it's going to come out in their day-to-day. That's all I have. I hope that this virtual book club was very, very, very informative for you. I hope that you were able to learn and meet my dope team. If you missed the beginning, we started with our group 4. So if you saw that we went from 3 to 5, it's because we actually started with group 4. So you can watch this video in its entirety. Again, our book club is from 6 months to teens. It's free. You must register, though, to get access. And join us. Join us on September 19th. It's going to be a great, great time. If you have any additional questions, you can also email us at bursintobooks@gmail.com, and we will make sure that any question that you have is answered. I hope you all have an amazing, amazing rest of your day, and we will see you on September 19th.